Hey guys, it is Carl Brown from GuitarLessons365.com. Halloween, it's Halloween. It's time to do some Halloween music. I think it's Halloween music, right? It's Ghost, it's good. All right, this is a fun track. I remember at the roller rink. They still have roller rinks? I used to be at the roller rink and every kid would skate to this, and I remember that. I always sucked at roller skating too, I don't know why, but I wasn't gifted. So let's start here. Just talking about, I'm doing not quite, like Ray Parker Jr., there's a lot of like some guitar fills and solos and all that stuff in there. I really kind of do an arrangement of the actual song itself. So a lot of the things that I'm doing aren't actually on guitar. They're kind of more trying to recreate the bass lines and the keyboard stuff, which is really what's driving the track. There is some actual guitar parts in there that I will cover, but some of the solos and the fills, I'm not going to be looking at all those. Just trying to get the song underneath your fingers itself, so you can be fun at parties. Now, before I do it, please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring that notification bell so you know it's a new video. And if you like my lessons here on YouTube, I think you'd love my Guitar Academy. And there's a link to it in the description below. How convenient is that? Now that link will give you a free 7-day trial on my academy, which is my online guitar school containing all my courses from complete courses for beginners to more advanced courses on technique, improvisation, ear training, theory, guitar tone. I'm live there every weekend with like live streams just for Academy members, so you can get your questions answered every week in real time. We also have like live courses and everything, so it's a lot of fun. So please go over there and check it out. All right, so let's jump into this track. So I'm in standard tuning here. And we have this intro, this spooky intro. You can actually hear a guitar, and then like the second fret on the A string, it kind of slides up to the 14th fret. And then you hear, start this kind of slow trill, which is just between the second and third fret there on the G. But there's also this little that happens with it. Now you can do all that together if you want to make things very hard to play, and I'm a big fan of that, so let's do that. So I'm going to start here just so we can do the whole intro on one guitar. So we're at the second fret there on the A and the second fret on the G, so just kind of bar there. And you can do that, start that trill between 2 and 3 on the G. And then what we're going to do is change the bass line and try to keep that trill going as much as possible. So now the new bass note is going to be here at the 5th fret there on the D with the 2nd fret there on the G. So he's still doing that trill. So then move the bass line down to the 4th fret there on the D. And then the 3rd fret. Now in order to do that, the 3rd fret, I'm going to trade fingers here. We're going to move this one that's doing the trill over to the 3rd fret on the D string to play the bass note, and then the trill will continue between the same 2 frets, but with between my index finger and my ring finger. And then 2nd fret, I'm barring across I want to get that bass note on the D string, so I'm going to just bar that with the 12th fret there, 2nd fret there on the G, continuing with the same trill. So we have this so far. And then when it goes to, it has the D in the bass, but it also adds a high D there. So you can actually do both of them and still do that trill in the middle. So I'm hitting the open D and the 3rd fret there on the B. And I'm hitting that 2nd fret there on the G. So it's hitting like a D power chord of what you're doing. And then still doing that trill. And after you've done that trill there, grab this like some B flat octave. So it's just the 1st fret on the A, 3rd fret there on the G. All right, and then we get to the song. Now this is not a guitar thing, this is more of a keyboard thing, but you hear that little bass line in there. I'm kind of adding that, and it kind of really gives the riff a lot of life. So this is just the chords first. We're gonna have just a B major chord here off the 7th fret of the low E string, 9th fret on the A, 9th fret on the D, 8th on the G. You don't have to make it a full bar chord. And then we're gonna take the same thing down 2 frets to the A. And then the other chord will be an E major. So that should be the 7th fret there on the A, and then barring across the 9th fret of the D, G, and the B. Really, actually, you just need the power chord. So the 7th fret there on the A, 9th on the D, and the G. So we have So the rhythm is, there's a down, up, down, and then you hit the chord, the B. And as soon as you hit that, you want to mute it in this little B major arpeggio. So it's just going to be the 7th fret on the low E, 6, 9 on the A. And then you just hit the A and then the E. So like this. So when you get those all put together, it really has that kind of jumpy quality. All right, so from there we have to that next section, which is, I don't even know what to call it. It's not like a bridge. I just call it the I Ain't Afraid of No Ghost section, but it looks like this. Now this right here, I'm definitely trying to play what's on a keyboard part, multiple keyboard parts, and one guitar part, which makes it not the easiest thing in the world to play, but whatever. Looks like this. All right, a little bit of a challenge, but we're getting all those melodies in there and the harmony as well. So, and the bass line. So do what you will with it. I'm sure there's simpler ways to play this online, but I try to make things sound so if somebody's hearing you play it, they actually know what it is that you're trying to attempt. So that makes for some difficult things every once in a while. All right, so here we go. We're gonna start here with this B minor. Now you can play it like this. That might be easier, so you don't have to do the thumb. So you just play a B minor bar chord. There's the 7th fret bar, and then you can play the 9th fret on the A and the D in front of it. So strum the chord, and I'm kind of trying to make this the top note when you strum. The note on the G string. Because then you go pick the D string and then back to the G and then back to the D. So we're kind of doing that. That. Kind of clever, huh? And then we're going to do the same thing, but we have the A string in the bass. So that's going to be a little bit easier. We just have the 7th fret there on the B and the G, and the 9th fret there on the D, but there's the open A. Make sure we really want those melody notes coming up. So you kind of just pick to there if you want. You don't have to bar it. Just pick up to the G string, then the D, G, D. So we have this. And then that little lick right there is 7 on the G, 9 on the D, then go 7, 8, 9 on that D string. So we have all right, and then things get a little tricky because we'll have to do a bar. You can kind of cheat it and go, which I'm not a huge fan of the way that open string sounds. So keeping all the notes, fingered notes, gives them the same quality. So what I'm doing here is the 4th fret there on the low E, 7th on the A, 6 on the, you're actually just going to bar the 4th fret there. And in front of that, you're going to play 7 on the B, 7 on the D string. you know what? It's been a long day. 7 on the G string, 6 on the D, and 7 on the A. So, and you got that there. So you basically play this. So the reason why we're doing a bar is because that note in the melody's there at the 4th fret there on the G. So you just rotate, you pick up to that G string and then pick up the note and just play that string again. 7 and 4, so it, and then you can just pick up the bass note and you don't have to do a, it's the same thing on top. So 7 on the A, 6 on the D, 7 on the G, and going back and forth between those two notes. We just went from the 4th fret on the low E to that low E. And then you play 7, 4 on the G. So instead of doing that, we're just gonna go that 7, 4, and then jump up here to that same 7, 8, 9. So all together, it looks kind of like this. So I know it's a little bit challenging. You can just, play the bass line if you want. But I kind of, it's kind of fun to make it try to sound like the recording. All right, so then we get back to this, the same. There's a guitar solo there. We're not gonna really do the guitar solo bits like I talked about. We're just kind of focusing on the rhythm stuff of the song. And trying to make that as hard as possible. So, but we just go through the main riff again. And that same, I ain't afraid no goes. And then to the same main riff again. You guys know it. All right, then we get, so after that, like the 3rd time through the chorus, we get to this, I call it the bridge number 1. All right, so this is actually on guitar. And it looks like this. So now there's a bass thing that comes in the middle of that. It sounds like it's a different chord, but the guitar is staying and doing the same thing. So even though it sounds like the harmony is changing there, it's not really changing. So and then they had the kind of emulating that ending leading into it. So we have this like this is a power chord, the 7th fret of the low E down to 5. I'll hold that and then come back to 7 and hit it twice. And then he kind of does the same thing, but he does a little slide. And then hits the 2, 7. So we have this. He's also got a little distorted guitar here too, which I'm obviously not bothering doing right now. And then we have this again. And then the ending. Just go down that 7, 5, and then go. Kind of leads us back into the main riff chorus again, which is that power chord of the 7th fret of the A, then the 5th fret of the A, and then over that 7th fret power chord off the low E. And then that takes us back to the main riff again. All right, so then we get, after the next chorus, we get to this 2nd bridge, which I guess it's like a bridge, but it's pretty interesting because it goes from like an F sharp major chord and then the minor 3rd, and then back to the major. So it kind of looks like this. All right, so now I'm just kind of using one simple clean guitar sound on this. I'm not kind of overthinking the tone too much, but we're going to start here with this F sharp major chord. So it's a full bar to the 2nd fret, 4th fret on the A, 4th fret on the D, and 3rd fret there on the G. Hit that a couple times, and then when he does this little melody, 3, 3-2 on the B over to 3, which is the minor third, there on the G, and then back to major. Back to that chord, hit that once, and then we had this. He kind of slides up the A string to the 11th fret from like 9 to 11, and then play the double stops to the 9th fret on the G and the B, and hammer on that 11th fret there on the G. And then kind of do the same riff again down here. And then he has a different fill to end it, which kind of slides up to the 12th fret there on the B, and play 10, 12, and 10 back on the height. Get a little bit of bend on that if you want. Then play 12, 10, 12 on the B. All right, and that is about it. It goes back to the and then back to the same chords. So it's got some interesting parts to it, and we're trying to put everything together and just play it on guitar, so you can do this on acoustic or electric, whatever. Make it sound similar to the song so people know what you're actually trying to do. It can make for some challenging sections, but hopefully not too difficult for you, and you'll be able to knock this out before Halloween. All right? Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.